Good evening. It's great to see everybody here tonight. Thank you for those of you who followed the blinking instruction to move closer than you're comfortable with. I know it was a big move for a lot of you. I appreciate that. I'll just wait for a couple more people to sit down. It's great to see everybody here. For those of you, if this is your first time with us in the last couple weeks on a Wednesday night, we're doing something a little bit different. As you can tell from the instructions up there, we are devoting our Wednesday nights to learning how to sing more effectively, primarily because we want to focus on the best way to worship, and it helps us keep us focused on what really matters, which is the words, right? The things that we're singing, praising to God and encouraging one another. And so that's what we've been doing the last couple weeks, and we're going to continue throughout the remainder of this quarter. In terms of the cadence, we didn't really talk about this too much in the previous one, so I wanted to just inform everybody so they feel a little bit more comfortable about what's going on. Typically, you'll have, so Brady and Scott and I are the ones who are arranging what's happening each service, and we will typically have, during the class portion of the Wednesday night evening, we will have one of the song leaders come up and lead us in a couple warm-up songs, right? Songs that we know, that we're familiar with. And then we'll go into learning a new song. And so tonight I will be the one instructing us on one of the new songs. And we have the elders gave us lots of flexibility here. So either we're going to be learning new songs, or as we move along throughout the quarter, we might be reviewing some of the songs that we've learned, those types of things. So that's what we're going to do tonight, and that's kind of how things are going for the remainder of this quarter. So tonight we have Major, who's going to lead us in a couple of songs, and so I will go ahead and hand it over to him, and then I'll come up after the conclusions. One thing I do want to mention is we are still having problems with the software, the PowerPoint software that's in the back, so you will need your books for at least Major songs. The new songs I'll have up here, but for the songs that we know, they're in the books. It's a good opportunity for us to practice. Most of us know all these songs anyway, right? As Grant likes to remind us. Try to look up and just sing from memory if you can. Otherwise, go ahead and look at the books. So I'm going to reverse this, put on blank, and hand it over to Major.
My first song will be number 107 in the supplemental book, Humble Yourself. Humble yourself in the sight of the Lord. Second song will be in the big book, number 589, As the Deer. this song's by Dave Sanderson, if I'm correct. Yes.
These aren't songs by Dave Sanderson. But they are the ones we're going to learn tonight. Actually, there's one primary one that we're going to learn tonight, and then if we have time, we'll go through and review some of the other ones that we've learned. This first song, this is the new song, Hear My Cry. Just to give you a little bit of background here, those of you who know me know that I'm usually a fast-paced type of song leader, right? I like the fast stuff. This is a slow one. It's unusual for me, but there is a time and a place for every type of song, and this one I think is very appropriate to sing in times of distress and concern and places where we really feel like we need God's help. The verse that is quoted here, Romans 8:26, is actually not the verse I would have picked for this, but because there is a reference to the fact that the Spirit intercedes for us in these times whenever we're really hurting. As you listen to these words, or as you read through them, you'll notice that these remind you of the Psalms a lot. They remind me of the Psalms a lot. There's lots of Psalms out there about King David crying for help and needing God's help. And so that's really where my mind goes whenever I lead to this, whenever I read through these. And the reason why I mention that is, and I think it is important whenever we think about a song or learn a song or sing a song, to kind of understand the context, because it will help us provide the emotion that we need to put into the song to get the most out of it. And so that's why I wanted to make sure that I explained that to you. So I'm just going to read through real quick here. You can read along. When my soul is worn and weary and my eyes are filled with grief, when my hands in desperation reach to heaven for relief, hear my cry, Heavenly Father, hear my cry now. You have known my every pain. You have seen all my sorrow. Hear my cry once again. Would I find the words there waiting, if I had the strength to start? Could a mortal tongue interpret all the sorrow of a heart? There's the chorus again. Spirit, search me in my weakness and discern this growing gray. Intercede in understanding, hear the things I cannot say. Hear my cry, Heavenly Father. You have known my every pain. You have seen all my sorrow. Hear my cry once again. So, very simple song in terms of the melody. How many of you had a chance to listen to it? I sent out a link earlier. Okay, good. So, most of you should at least be a little bit familiar with the tune. The way I like to lead or teach any new song is I like to have everybody sing the lead or the soprano part first, and that's this part up here, right? For those of you who don't forget, it's the top line that you'll see on these. So sing with me through this. I'd like for all of us to sing together, and it is a fairly slow song, but in general I even go slower whenever I teach a new song, but we'll see how this goes, because I don't want it to drag too much. But oh, soul, when my soul is worn and weary, and my eyes are filled with grief, when my hands in desperation reach to heaven for relief, hear my cry, Heavenly Father. You have known my every pain. You have seen all my sorrow. Hear my cry once again. Good. All right. Just to remind ourselves, we're going to sing it through again, everybody. Men, I want you to pay especially close attention to the lead, because after this, all the men are going to sing the lead, and we're going to work on all the women singing the alto part, right? So, men, don't think that you could forget the lead after this one. We're going to all sing it next time, so really pay attention. Let's repitch it to make sure we're still good. All right. Since I feel like we neglect the altos, we're going to go all in on altos tonight, okay? And normally what we do when we do have the altos sing is we have the sopranos sing their part in the altos. But I know that there's a lot of sopranos who want to get in on the alto action, right? So I'm going to have all the women sing the alto part here, okay? And all the men, it's going to be up to you to remember that tune, right? You're the one singing the melody here throughout this, right? We're going to start on verse 3. Now, just so that the altos, one thing I do want to point out, especially for those of you who are learning, I know we have a lot of younger singers in here, and this is the first time you're going through something like this, but a good hack when you're trying to learn a part is anytime, and you may not know any of the notes, and that's fine, but anytime that you see a note stay the same, right? So if we're alto in this case, some of the young ladies who are trying to learn this, if we start on spirit, or let me get the pitch back here. And also spirit. I'm going to stay on the same one here for the alto. Spirit, search me. See how it stays on that? And this happens all over the place in this song especially. So whenever you're learning a new song, always look for where it's the same. And you know, I'm just staying on that note. So if I got that note, I'm good. And I just stay on that note, right? Because I know a lot of us are like, I don't know, do I go up and down? So that's just a little tip for you. So without the men, let's just try singing the alto by ourselves. It's going to sound really weird, but it's cool. Okay. And any of the men who want to try to sing the alto part, that's fine too. So, Spirit, search me in my weakness and discern this growing gray. Intercede in understanding. Hear the things I cannot say. Hear my cry, Heavenly Father. You have known my every pain. You have seen all my sorrow. Hear my cry once again. So a little note on this. Some of you might see this and say, why are there two flats in a row right here? The reason for that is because this note is naturally flatted due to the key signature. And so rather than writing it as this note sharp, the author or the arranger thought it would be more obvious to you if we just say, hey, stay on the same note, but just flatten it from where you already are, okay? Some of you may not care anything about that, but those of you who do, you might be wondering, why is it that way? Okay, so altos, I think you had that pretty good, right? Sounded good to me. The one thing the reason why I said what I did at the beginning around looking for the notes staying the same is you'll notice that it stays on this T quite often, right? T is the one that is shaped like this. For those of you who can see that shape from that far away. And what's nice is it kind of goes here, to the T, and then it stays on the T, hear my cry. Now, it's harder to see when we're flipping through slides that it does that, but if you're ever holding it on the actual sheet music, you'll notice that. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. And so we're going to do all the men. I want you to sing the soprano part, the lead, right? Remember, when my soul is worn and weary, because you probably forgot since we just did the alto part. And I will sing that with you and listen for the alto. I'm going to drop off in a little bit so I can make sure I'm listening. Everybody good? So men, lead, soprano. All the women, alto. Okay? It's going to sound awesome because I love the alto part. All right. No, so everybody's on the same starting note. When my soul is worn and weary, and my So it's higher than what you think. I also noticed you did it on the first one too, so it jumps higher than you think. I'll sing along with you in my girly voice. And you good on your part? Okay, sing it more so they can hear the harmony there. When my soul is worn and weary, and my eyes are filled with grief, when my hands in desperation reach to heaven for relief, hear my cry, Heavenly Father. You have known my every pain. You have seen all my sorrows. Hear my cry once again. That was cool. All right. Now, alto, you feel appreciated now? You feel like okay, that's good. So let's now have the women sing their normal parts, right? Soprano sing soprano, alto sing your alto, and we want all the men to sing the bass, right? Because bass is super important in all of these songs to provide that low end that we need. So all the men sing bass, starting on verse 2 here. Sopranos and altos sing your parts. First of all, any questions so far from the ladies? Pretty straightforward? Okay, good. Just wait till we put it all together. Okay. So, do, basses, this is your soul, sopranos. By the way, I'm going to sing the bass part, sorry. So, would I find the words there waiting if I had the strength to start? Could a mortal tongue interpret all the sorrow of a heart? Hear my cry now, Heavenly Father. You have known my every pain. You have seen all of my sorrow. Hear my cry once again. All you manly men hitting that low one, good, I appreciate it. Okay, basses feel good? Yep, okay. So let's go ahead and go add the tenors now. And tenors usually have their stuff pretty good. I'll sing tenor along with us. And then after this, we'll sing the whole thing all the way through. And I think that we'll have it pretty nailed. Do, basses, mi, tenors, do, sol, sopranos and altos. Everybody, let me hear it. Spirit, search me in my weakness and discern this growing grain. Intercede in understanding. Hear the things I cannot say. There's only one little iffy part there, but I think we got it figured out. Tenors, you feel good about that? Yeah, Brady.
Can you sing just the tenor part, just the verse part? I think the chorus was good.
Yep.
Maybe sing the verse just tenor.
Yeah, you want everybody sing it together, all the tenors sing it together, just tenors?
Yeah,
Okay.
just one time.
Let me get my pitch, just because it's always good practice. Know me when my soul is worn and weary, and my eyes are filled with grief, when my hands in desperation reach to heaven for relief. Good. All right. Yeah, it's weird, especially the part where it goes from the higher, the do, back down to the so, then back to the do. But I think you all have it now. All right, let's put it all together, shall we? We'll sing all three verses and be able to move on. I do want to mention, I mentioned earlier the song and the emotion behind it. Whenever my kids are learning an instrument, and they're playing a song, they play all the notes, and they're like, I played this song. And I said, no, you got to make it sing, right? There's a difference between getting all the notes right and singing, right? So now that we have the notes right, let's work on, this is another one of these songs we talked about in our 5 o'clock class. Well, you'll notice a lot of good writers will intentionally put like a natural crescendo of the point where the high note is. So in this one, hear my cry, right? That's the cry. So that's where you want to cry, right? That's where we want to hit that. So we're kind of nice and melancholy, and then you're raising up you're crying out to God, just like in the Psalms, whenever David expresses these emotions in his words. So that's how you should be thinking about this song and others when you sing them, but this one specifically since we haven't gone through it all together. And so because this is a more melancholy type of song, I won't sing it as loudly necessarily as I might, and we're going to keep it nice and slow, or maybe a little bit faster than where we were at, though. Okay? All right. Do, mi, do, sol. When my soul is worn and weary, and my eyes are filled with grief, when my hands in desperation generically, not specific to this song, but any time where there's movement in a song, so you notice a couple times the altos had the, right? Bring that out, because it's intentionally different than everybody else, right? Same with the basses. We're on the chorus, we're like, "Hear my heavenly Father," right? It's different. So anytime, whether you're the part that is different, right, maybe amp it up a little bit, or if you're the part that's not different, come down a little bit so that we can hear more of the different stuff. All right, I'll be interested to hear your feedback on that song, if you like it or not. Let's do a review. This was one that Brady taught us 2 weeks ago, step by step. So I'm not going to go through and reteach. We're just going to see if we remember it. So we'll see. And if, when doing this, you're not sure about something, raise your hand and we'll go over it. All right. Do, so, do, ti. It starts on a T for the tenors, yeah, Brady, is that right? Do, ti, do, so. So here is your soprano, alto, and bass. Do, so. And this is faster, that's why I chose to do this one next, because we're all asleep after that first one. Oh God, you are my God, and I will ever praise you. Oh God, you are my God, and I will ever praise you. I will sing you in the morning, and I will learn to walk in your ways, and step by step you'll lead me, and I will follow you all of my days. Oh God, you are my God, and I will ever praise you. Oh God, you are my God, and I will ever praise you. I will sing you in the morning, and I will learn to walk in your ways, and step by step you'll lead me, and I will follow you all of my days, and I will follow you all of my days, and I will follow you all of my days, and step by step you'll lead me, and I will follow you all of my days. Great, did you notice anything in that?
Noticed it sounded great.
I noticed the same thing.
What did you notice, Dave?
Same thing, but since you're the one who taught it, you know, you're probably picking up maybe things differently than I am, but good. Sounded good. You guys like that song? Yeah? How about the first one? Just curious. First one good? Yeah? Okay. How many of you remember this one? Okay. This is a great song. And I had it on the list to teach, and Brady's like, I've already taught it. I'm like, awesome. So we will review it. This is another slow one. That's why I put the fast one in between them, so that, you know, we didn't do two slows in a row. For those of you who don't remember, this one just generically is, Jesus, draw me ever nearer as I labor through the storm. Okay? And just to get your mind where it is. It's probably the wrong pitch, though. But. Do. Again, this is another one like that first one, right? Think about the context. This is a prayer to God, to have Jesus helping draw us nearer to Him as we go throughout various trials. So that's the mindset we want to have when we're singing this. Do, mi, tenors, do, so, basses, do. Jesus, draw me ever nearer as I softer. That way we can crescendo more in the meat and potatoes of the song, and then we'll come back down, okay? Yes? Yes, let's all please stand. You gotta let me know early. I get on a roll, I forget. All right. Let's just do it all from the beginning, since this is how we're standing. Maybe a little bit faster than we just did. We have 5 minutes to spend however we want. I would say let's go back to the first one and make sure it's all dialed in. Jerry, did you already ring the bell for the 5-minute folks?
Yes.
You're on it, man. I was thinking we were going to run out of time, so I was like, well, surely I won't have to go all the way back to the beginning. All right, here we go. Do, sol, My soul is worn and weary, and my eyes are filled with grief. When my hands in desperation reach to heaven for relief, hear my cry now, Heavenly Father. You have known my every pain. You have seen all of my sorrow. Hear my cry once again. Would I find the words there waiting if I had the strength to start? Could a mortal tongue interpret all the sorrow of a heart? Hear my cry now, Heavenly Father. You have known my every pain. You have seen all of my sorrow. Hear my cry once again. Spirit, search me in my weakness and discern this growing gray. Intercede in understanding. Hear the things I cannot say. Hear my cry, Heavenly Father. You have known my every pain. You have seen all of my sorrow. Hear my cry once again. We now have a 5-minute break while the kids come in from class. Thank you.